Alright, so here's a tube tester that I've gone through and replaced all the electrolytic caps and the high voltage caps and checked the components. And then I calibrated it. It's working very, very well. Let's see. This tester is a mutual conductance tester. It's a Model 1000 Mercury. And it'll test octal tubes, loctal, compactron, 12 and 10 pin, as well as the 9 pin miniature and 7 pin miniature tubes. Interesting thing, the Model 1000 and 2000 are the same basic circuit. So if you look at the tube charts for both 1000 and 2000, only some of the socket numbers have changed. So if there's a tube you're wanting to test but you don't see it on a 1000 chart, you can look at a 2000 chart and maybe find it, and you'll be able to figure out how to test it using the 2000 tube chart info to test it on 1000. This tester has a shorts test, which is good to about a megohm, as well as this gas and grid leakage test, which is good to sensitivity of 150 megohms. So it's as good as the Sandcord tube testers, and many times better than the older Hickox and the TV7 testers and so forth. So with a sensitivity of 150 meg, you can test a tube and see that it might have 50 megohm or so, and it's in the red region, and you can tell much sooner with a tester like this that tube is going to be a problem. So let's go ahead and turn on the tester. I've got it not plugged in, I see. Let me see. I'm going to plug it in to line power and turn it on. And so it's got a shorts light here, the power light, and so forth. So you start off to test tubes at shorts, put all the levers down to the K, which is cathode, and then each lever can go from K to G, or grid, or to P, or plate. But to test shorts, you just move one at a time, levers 1 through 10, from K to G, and back to K. After you set the proper filament voltage here at this selector, and you can go ahead and set the lobe to what the tube chart says, and then you look at this light. So here's a 6v6, and it tests at about 93-ish on a calibrated BK707. So the tube chart says D30 and then 4, so that's the socket 4. And we'll go ahead and put it in. I always double check this before putting that tube in. Let's see, there it goes. The sockets are in good shape, so it holds things well. Let's see. Okay, so we'll let that guy warm up, and we'll go through and see if we see a short here at this, moving levers from K to G and back to K. Levers 1 through 10. Little flash is normal, as long as it doesn't glow. Okay, so if you're reading the charts, they'll say a glow is okay on a certain pin, and then that's normal. But if you get a glow on only one pin and one lever, that is a short to the heater, which is on a separate circuit from here. And if you get a short on 2, say between 5 and 8 or something, that means there's a short between 5 and 8. Okay, so shorts worked. So now we'll set it up for the actual GMEM test, which is next. I'll leave this guy at shorts while you're setting up. So 6v6 says G511 and then P34. So G5 and 11, P34, and now we can move this to advance it to GMEM. Also on the tube chart it says 5000 in the rated GM, so that means you read the GM scale. If there was no value listed, you would read the good bad scale, where you're just testing for emission. So now we'll check it, and we're getting about 4500 GM. If there were asterisks next to the rated GM, you'd read the GM scale on the lower scale. So this one is top scale, about 4500. Now the last thing it says is G5, and that's for the grid test. So you move all the levers, leave that G5 up, and you move that one to there, and it's good. So that's more than 100 megohms of leakage, so it's good. Okay, you can go back to shorts. So this one tests good, and let's see. We can also look at the shorts indicator. So we'll leave that at D. This is fine. So it's at shorts. So here's a 100 megohm resistor, and for shorts, levers 1 through 10 go to each socket at pins 1 through 10 if it's got it. So we can put this guy at here at 5 and 8, and oh, that's way too much for shorts. I'm doing shorts. Let's put in a short. So here's a 240 k ohm, and if we bring up 5, it lights. So it's between 5 and 8, and if you bring up 8, it should light, and the others should not. Lights at 5, lights at 8. Okay, so for 240k, it lights pretty bright. If we put in the 1 megohm, it's very dim, but you can still see it. So you kind of have to cover it and get it in the dark to see it. Alright, so that shows you the shorts. Let's see. If you move it to gas and grid, now you want to go to a socket that has the grid pin. So at this socket it's 5. So you can put this in between 5 and 8. This particular resistor is about 25 megohms. So if we put this to 5, we should see this move over. And it's in the red, and that's where 25 megohms shows up. So that's good. And like I said, if this was 100 megohms, it still shows up in the green, but it just moves a little. And back. Alright, so that's the basic test. It shows you how it works, and when you're all done, you move this lever back to off, and there you go. Alrighty, thanks for looking.